morning guys, and welcome to this week's episode. As you can see, we have the board behind us of all the dive sites we dived, and this red section is on the Straits of Tiran. Now we did Gordon Reef during the day and night, Thomas Reef and Jackson Reef. You guys can enjoy this. It's a really popular area in Egypt to dive, beautiful. It sits up in the Straits of Tiran and it's just this little island or formation of different islands that are reef structures, and you've got all the different ones like Woodhouse, Thomas, Gordon, Jackson, and they offer incredible diving, beautiful walls, but also because you get currents there, you might get big pelagics. So let's go in and explore the dive sites around Straits of Tiran. You're going to enjoy this, guys. And as always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe, like, hit the bell notification. It helps us out a lot. We're making these content for you guys to enjoy, seeing diving around the world, and it helps out. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that button. So please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next dive. Enjoy exploring the dive sites of the Straits of Tiran. Let's go. After an awesome day of diving on the Thistlegorm, we take the ship all the way up to the Straits of Tiran. Now the Straits of Tiran are on the east side of Sharm el-Sheikh in the Sinai Peninsula, overlooking to Saudi Arabia. Now the Tiran Islands are actually owned by Saudi Arabia, but are an area of dispute, so we can't make the little islands, but what we can do is they have amazing coral reefs. They have these famous reefs here that are world famous to go and explore and dive. And the first one we drop on is Jackson Reef, and you can see how colourful it is, how much life is on it, and also how the slope runs down to depth. Now this is a really famous place for schooling hammerheads, dolphin interaction, big marine life. It's one of the best places in the northern Red Sea to find big pelagics. And we were definitely not disappointed on this dive, as we were dropping around and we were finding triggerfish, we were finding different types of butterfly fish. And we were doing this dive first because it's a bit shallower to go and get the people used to the dive in this area, because sometimes you get currents, as you can see the flag flying in the water there. But this was knowing that we were going to have a great dive. And Holly's like, have you seen that? Have you seen what's just going to happen? Now we're dropping on the second dive site here, Thomas Reef. Now the reason why, when you dive the Straits of Tiran, the first 5 meters, when you jump in the water, you have to drop straight below it. You have to get below that 15 feet, 5 meters. And there's a good reason, because this area is really popular for oceanic whitetips. Before I get onto the oceanic whitetips, we've got to talk about these sea fans. These are Gregorian sea fans. Some of the largest sea fans in the world, but they're a type of coral, and what they do is they're like big satellite dishes. And as the current is flowing through on the dive site, they are able to catch all the nutrients in the water to feed the animal and the plant part of these corals. They are staggering and some of the largest sea fans type of corals in the world. They are Gregorian sea fans. And then when we come behind the sea fans, as Holly is signaling, look how big they are. There's little sand patches around. And these sand patches have a lot of life. And if you look very carefully, you'll spot loads of spotted blue stingrays. And they were everywhere on this dive. And in these sand patches, you're going to notice that them coming up all over on this little sand patch, which was awesome. And they were not scared of us at all. They're so used to divers, you can come right up to them and they're relaxed, allow you to film them and move away. But as I was saying, why do we drop to 5 meters at Straits of Tiran? It's because the oceanic whitetips. Now oceanic whitetips are very more of aggressive shark to divers. Now sharks are not aggressive to divers, normally it's a defense reaction or stake identity. But what happens here is their feeding range is 5 meters. They feed in the top 5 meters of the water column, 15 feet for our US subscribers. Now you have to drop in and drop straight below that to get below that to avoid being at risk of being mistaken. Now a lot of unfortunately shark attacks do happen in the Red Sea, and it does involve oceanic whitetips. This is very common throughout the world because they're a bit more open and aware. Now We only saw one on this dive, and this is the first shark I ever saw. It was an oceanic whitetip, but it was really cool on the dive. As Holly was saying, see the shark? We did see an oceanic whitetip on the dive, but like most sharks, like to stay away from divers. They don't like the bubbles. So when the shark came in on the wall from the blue and saw us, the first thing it did was turn around and swim back into the blue and was not interested. Again, sharks are friends. They're not scary. They're amazing to see and dive with. But as you can see, we're getting ready for our third dive of the day, this time at Gordon's Reef. We're buzzing, again, heading back out for another dive. And as you saw, there was so much life around. We had rays, we had sharks, we had so much life, and we're jumping back in to go see what we can find on our third dive at Straits of Tiran at Gordon's Reef. Now again, we have massive Gorgonian sea fans, just absolutely stunning. And then out the blue we hear a rattle, and look what comes cruising out of the blue, a spotted eagle ray. This was awesome, the way it just cruised by and let us get so close to it. We were buzzing right at the start, and then straight away, just underneath the spotted eagle ray, a hawksbill turtle as well. Big monster cruising along the reef, not even scared or worried about the divers. And this is why diving is so amazing. Marine interactions. Just look at the interactions, look how close she's getting to Lisa. She's very relaxed as the massive turtle just cruises past, and clearly the turtle is not worried or stressed out by the divers. And hawksbills, what they do is they eat sponges and coral. As you can see, he's munching away on the coral and just not worried about us. And Holly's like, I love turtles. As her usual signal, give me the camera, and she gets this awesome footage of this hawksbill. Look at the way it is just not bothered of us, and this is why diving is amazing. You get these incredible interactions.
Cowabunga, man.
Now, as we drop in for our final dive, again, this one was actually at Jackson's Reef as well. For the first dive the next morning, we jump in again to go explore. And look at the coral, look at the colour of it. We had little nudibranchs right at the beginning, and we've got purple and blue coral. Honestly, the GoPro does not do it justice. And this was really cool, a torpedo ray coming right underneath us, under the boat. We just had a little easy, relaxed, chilled morning dive, just seeing what we could find on the boat, and this torpedo ray comes swimming at me. Look at his little beady eyes looking at me, so mate. It's like some Disney character. But it was awesome, just having him cruise around, looking very unique. Now in the Caribbean, these are also known as electric rays, because they can give you a little zap, a little shock. Now I don't know if that's the same in the Red Sea, if they are electric rays as well. But they were definitely, they're called torpedo rays here as well. Different type species compared to the Caribbean. But if anyone knows if they are, if anyone knows that if they do have an electric pulse like the Caribbean ones do, please comment below and let us know, would be awesome. But this is why the Straits of Tiran is such an amazing area to dive. You have the day boats come out here all the time, so if you're staying in Sharm, Nama Bay, day boats will come out here and dive. But if you come out in the liverboards, you're going to be spoiled, because you normally get there before the day boats and able to enjoy the reef before they arrive. But as always guys, I really hope you enjoyed coming out and exploring the Straits of Tiran in the Red Sea with us.